Thokozani bogogo, thokozani bantu abadala, thokozani izindlondlo, thokozani bogogo omkhulu. I greet you all namadlozi wenu enihamba nawo. Ndithi thokozani, ndawuwe, thobela thobela, camaku. Siyabonga bogogo. And welcome back to the channel, and thank you very much. I can see that we are growing in leaps and bounds, and thank you very much bogogo. You play a big role in this, because I know some of you, they share the channel. Please continue to do that, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and of course share. We have to get the message out there. So many people might be in need of what you are already benefiting from. So be kind. Umuntu ngumuntu ngabantu. So share with those who might need the wisdom nuggets that you might be getting and benefiting from this channel. Thank you so much, Bogogo, for being here. It's so amazing. I know it's been a while. I was away. I went to Johannesburg to go and shoot. So, yeah, a lot of the focus was on learning my lines and making sure that I'm ready for set. But I'm back, and I promise I'm going to be pumping the content. And please do feel free to kind of put out topics that you would like me to speak about or give some clarities on. Wherever I can, I promise I will definitely give you something. So, Bogogo, what are we talking about? I just wanted to share a story. The story is about how we always despair when we have to go and accept the calling, and thinking that beyond me having accepted the calling, am I still going to be the same person? That question always comes up. And I want to say yes, but more than just saying yes, let me quantumate that. It all depends on you, Bogogo. The same way that someone once asked me, is it possible for someone to fail when they accept the calling? And it's a yes, because it all depends on you. So the same way that if you put your mind to something, then you go and do it. You know, before you live in a mansion, you have to see the mansion in your mind, in your mind's eye, and you have to experience it so that then you can manifest it. So it's the same way with the calling. Do you return to being the same person? Yes, you can, but sometimes you might not. It depends on you. Some people have this belief that when you are the chosen, when you have a madlozi, your guiding spirit, just because it's an old man or an old woman, then you have to be acting that way. Yes, sometimes amadlozi, one will be stubborn, but do you believe me when I say that you can have a conversation? Ngamadlozi akho, these are your spirit guides. They have your best interest at heart. So definitely there is something that can be workable as long as it does not encroach on the teachings and umthetha weshoba. So you can talk and negotiate your way around how you facilitate your calling on behalf of your people. And remember, your people, they want you to be happy. So definitely they would ensure that as long as you present it in a respectful manner and you justify why something has to happen, and as well, you kind of say that me choosing to look this way, it does not mean that I will abandon your work. I will not look down at your work, but I will continue to raise the banner, because this is the modern times. Culture and the work of Abogogo, there's certain evolution that needs to happen. And remember, Abogogo, they chose you knowing before you even knew that you will become a certain person. Therefore, they will not deny you that which puts you at ease. Because remember, if you are stressed, you constantly worried about things, then it's not easy for you to focus and concentrate. So they will definitely allow you to do some of the things that you used to do before, as long as they are within umthetho weshoba and umthetho wedlozi. You don't encroach. So definitely it can happen. It will happen. It is doable, but you must do negotiations. Now, let me tell you the funny story about me. I remember the first time after I'd come back from Ephehlweni. The first time I went out to an event, I wore a wig, and I'm not sure whether it was maybe the shell, one of the shells, especially the one on my crown, the shell in my hair, maybe the wig was sitting too hard on top of it, or it was just purely a shock to the spirit guide, because mainly I work with men, old men. So maybe it was a culture shock to them to see me wearing the wig. I did phahla before to ask for permission to wear a wig. So yeah, by the time the event was towards the end, which was around 11 o'clock, I had had enough. I had the most splitting headache, pounding headache. Like the first thing when I walked into the hotel room, the first thing I did was to take off the wig. I was like, go away! And yeah, sometimes when I shoot, I will wear a wig. And then the other funny thing is the beads. There's this one bead that just refuses to come out when I've pleaded to take the others, even when I'm shooting. So much that in the shoot I did recently, I actually ended up shooting with it, the water beads, because they were like, we ain't going nowhere. So it was either I cut them, but I checked with the director, and the director was like, it's okay. So again, for me, there was a message from Abokoko saying we are there, because sometimes while I was having a conversation with someone, they were asking me, what does it mean sometimes when certain beads do not want to come out? And I was explaining that sometimes it's because those bees, they serve a purpose to protect you towards something that you are going to encounter in that space, And really, I remember coming back on some of the days from set, and I had this terrible pain on my back, and it kept shifting, It was like, so painful. So I understood that sometimes they will do that, because you don't know what you're walking into. Yes, they allow you to go and work, but they still want to protect you and make sure that you are safe. Also, for me, what I one of the things I kind of looked at when I was starting the journey, the people who were tasked with initiating me. I remember the first phehlo I went to, which is my dad's phehlo, where I was now being prepared, for the journey ahead, to be taken to the Gobela that must ultimately assist me. It was, so comforting to see his wife looking all beautiful and glamorous. And I remember I kept looking at her and thinking, I had seen her before when she was twassering. Oh, she was a mess. She was a mess. Like, when you look at someone and you feel sorry for them, you're like, gosh, to the point that I remember I even used to ask myself, I know, my dad and finer things. So I would look at this woman and I'm like, really, Dad? Really? Then I saw her after. She is beautiful. She is gorgeous with a beautiful spirit. And I was like, and every time, she's that lady who, when she was even telling me about where she comes from in terms of life, her previous life before becoming a sangoma, the kind of work she used to do, and the kind of things she used to envision for herself. She's a proper lady. So I used to look at her and think, wow, if she could evolve, back to this form, then definitely. Even if we were going to town, she'd dress up and she'd come and be like, she's got two pairs of shoes, and she's like, which shoes should I wear? Am I looking proper to be working with you? And that time I'm thinking, go, I'm Itwasana, I look a mess. I don't look like how I know myself. And you're asking me if you look okay, But I appreciated that, and I actually held on to it. It became one of the foundations of me being able to see beyond, because as well, where you grow up spiritually, how the space is, how the people are, how their mindset is, amadlozi akho will adopt that, and even you yourself, you will adopt that. I thought it was a joke when someone even said, if where you grow, you get grown spiritually. If they are swearing, you've got someone who's swearing, who's a drunkard and stuff, somehow that rubs off on you because udle impande yakhe, So there was that, and even my baba, the one who eventually um, grew me edlozini, umshengishabalala, he's proper. Obaba is proper, and like he likes finer things. And I even remember sometimes when we'd be going to town, he'd be like, "Do you have your sunglasses? Put on your sunglasses." Out of everything, don't lose sight of who you are and aspire again to go back to that. Don't think of amadlozi which are going to make you to be this drab looking person, this miserable person. And it'd be like, if amadlozi akho allow you to put on perfume, put it on. Put on perfume, because you have to manifest light and goodness. And when someone looks at you, they must see light. Even if someone looks at you and they still have to walk the journey, they must not feel hopeless just by looking at you and be like, oh, she used to be this person and now look at her, it's a miserable life. No, you must inspire hope. People must look at you and say, we can see ukuthi uthwasa amadlozi aphilile, impande iyaphilisa, because when you initially go a patron, you are sick. So many things about you, you're sick. Some people are psychologically sick, mentally sick, spiritually sick. There's so many sicknesses that you have. But when you come out, people must look at you and see that, oh, yeah, okay. So, yes, you can go back to the person you were and even better, When you are healed, some people, before they go a training, some, I don't want to use El Gama, sometimes we have to censor ourselves, but they end up being promiscuous. I don't want to use the H word, whether male or female. They end up being like that, and as a result, they get compromised, even their value systems. And again, that's a topic for another day, because some people, the spiritual sickness, it manifests in so many ways. You know someone having one partner and all of a sudden they're running through so many people, and you don't know what's happening. After they are healed, they go back to being normal. Some people, they just end up in mental hospitals, but when they go and be healed, then, if it was, the calling that was making them sick. I'm not saying everybody who is in a mental institution is someone who is chosen, who's got a calling, but for some people, it goes that route, and many people get misdiagnosed instead of accepting the calling and heeding it and doing what needs to be done. They will remain, and things go downhill. So rather than wanting or striving to be like you were before, strive to even be better. You have to become your ancestors' wildest dream. They have to look at you and say, oh child, you represent us so well. Because remember, you're no longer representing yourself now, but you are also representing those who guide and lead you. So make them proud. Make sure that you show up and shine, and just be amazing. Okay, I'll do this one in another video. See you in the next one.